everyone, and welcome back to Speak Right English. I'm Cathy, your English teacher. Today, we're going to learn something super useful, how to talk about your day in English. John, let me ask you, what's the first thing you do when you meet a friend or colleague?
Say hello and maybe ask, how was your day?
Exactly. And that's why today's lesson is so important. By the end of our time together, I promise you'll have at least 5 new ways to talk about your daily routine in English. Plus, I'll share a special conversational trick that native speakers use all the time.
That sounds great. I always struggle when people at work ask me what I did yesterday or what my plans are for the day.
Welcome to Speak Right English, Episode 2, Talking About Your Day in English. I'm Cathy, and with me is John, who's learning English just like you. Today, we're focusing on how to describe your daily activities in natural conversational English.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to learn with you today.
Talking about your day is one of the most common conversations you have in English. Whether it's chatting with colleagues, making small talk with neighbors, or catching up with friends, these everyday conversations help build relationships and improve your fluency.
And it's something we do almost every day, right?
Absolutely. Let's outline what we'll cover today. First, we'll learn phrases for describing morning routines. Then, we'll talk about work or school activities. After that, we'll discuss how to talk about hobbies and free time. And finally, I'll share a bonus conversational tip that will make you sound more natural when talking about your day.
Perfect. I'm ready to learn.
Let's start with morning routines. When describing how your day begins, there are some key phrases that English speakers use regularly. Listen to these common expressions. I usually wake up at. I get up at. The first thing I do is. My morning routine includes. I start my day with.
So I could say, I usually wake up at 7 a.m.
Exactly. Now repeat after me. I usually wake up at 7 a.m.
I usually wake up at 7 a.m.
Perfect. Let's try another one. The first thing I do is check my phone.
The first thing I do is check my phone.
Great job. Now let's talk about some specific morning activities. Listen to these useful phrases. I take a shower. I brush my teeth. I get dressed. I have breakfast. I catch the bus or train. Repeat after me. I take a quick shower every morning.
I take a quick shower every morning.
Very good. Here's another common phrase. After breakfast, I head to work.
After breakfast, I head to work.
But, Cathy, what if my morning is different every day? How do I say that? Great question. You can use frequency adverbs like usually, sometimes, occasionally, or rarely. For example, I usually have coffee, but sometimes I drink tea instead.
I see. So I could say, I usually wake up early, but sometimes I sleep in on weekends.
That's perfect. Now, let's practice with a short conversation about morning routines. I'll start. Good morning, John. How does your day usually begin?
Good morning, Cathy. I usually wake up at 6:30 a.m. The first thing I do is brush my teeth. Then I take a shower and get dressed. I have a quick breakfast, usually cereal or toast. After breakfast, I catch the bus to work at 8 a.m.
That sounds like a busy morning. Do you have time for coffee?
Sometimes I make coffee at home, but usually I buy one on my way to work. What about you? How does your morning start?
I'm an early bird. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. and start my day with some yoga. Then I take a shower, get dressed, and prepare breakfast for my family. I usually have oatmeal and fruit. I leave home around 7:30 a.m. to avoid traffic.
Wow, you wake up very early.
Excellent conversation, John. Now, listeners, take a moment to think about your own morning routine. How would you describe it using the phrases we just learned? Pause the podcast if you need time to practice. Now, let's move on to talking about work or school activities. Here are some useful phrases. I spend most of my day. My main tasks include. I'm responsible for. In the afternoon, I usually. The busiest part of my day is usually.
So I could say I spend most of my day answering emails and attending meetings.
Exactly. Repeat after me. I spend most of my day answering emails and attending meetings.
I spend most of my day answering emails and attending meetings.
Perfect. Here's another useful phrase. My main tasks include managing projects and supporting customers.
My main tasks include managing projects and supporting customers.
Excellent. For students, you might say, my classes start at 9 a.m. or I have lectures until 3 p.m. John, are you a student or do you work?
I work in an office. I'm an IT specialist.
Great! Let's practice describing your workday. Try to use the phrases we just learned.
Okay. I start work at 9 a.m. I spend most of my day solving computer problems and helping colleagues. My main tasks include maintaining the network and installing new software. In the afternoon, I usually have team meetings. The busiest part of my day is usually right after lunch when everyone seems to have computer issues at once.
That was excellent, John. You used several of our key phrases perfectly. Now, let's have a quick cultural note. In English-speaking countries, it's very common to ask colleagues about their day or weekend as a form of small talk. It's not considered nosy. It's just being friendly.
That's good to know. In some cultures, asking too many personal questions might seem intrusive.
Exactly. But remember, these conversations are usually light and positive. You don't need to share every detail of your day.
So, what should I say if I had a terrible day but don't want to talk about it?
Good question. You could say something like, it was a bit challenging, but nothing serious. Or, I've had better days, but I'm fine now. This acknowledges the truth without going into details you'd rather not share.
That's helpful. I never know what to say in those situations.
Now, let's move on to our third topic, hobbies and free time. After work or school, English speakers often talk about how they spend their leisure time. Listen to these phrases. After work, I usually. In the evening, I like to. I enjoy. I'm into. My favorite way to relax is.
So I could say, after work, I usually go to the gym.
Perfect. Repeat after me. After work, I usually go to the gym.
After work, I usually go to the gym.
Great. Another example, in the evening, I like to watch TV series.
In the evening, I like to watch TV series.
Excellent. Let's practice with a conversation. I'll start. So, John, what do you do after work?
After work, I usually go home and cook dinner. I enjoy trying new recipes. I'm into photography too, so sometimes I edit photos I've taken on the weekend. My favorite way to relax is reading science fiction novels before bed. What about you, Cathy?
In the evening, I like to go for a walk with my dog. I'm into gardening, so I spend time tending to my plants when the weather is nice. My favorite way to relax is watching documentaries or listening to podcasts.
That sounds relaxing. Do you ever go out during the week?
Sometimes I meet friends for dinner or attend a yoga class, but I'm usually pretty tired after teaching all day.
I understand. Weekdays can be exhausting.
Great conversation, John. You're getting really good at discussing daily routines in English.
Thanks. It feels more natural now with these phrases.
Now for our bonus tip. Here's a conversational trick that will make you sound more like a native speaker when talking about your day. Use time markers and transitions to make your story flow naturally. Words like first, then, after that, meanwhile, by the time, and finally help create a clear sequence of events.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Instead of saying, I woke up, I showered, I had breakfast, I went to work, you could say, first, I woke up at 6:30. Then, I took a quick shower. After that, I had some toast for breakfast. Finally, I headed to work around 8 a.m.
I see. The second version sounds much more natural and connected.
Exactly. Let's try one more practice conversation, putting everything together. Remember to use our phrases for morning routines, work activities, and free time, plus our transition words to connect everything smoothly.
Okay, I'll try. First, I wake up at 6:30 a.m. and take a shower. Then I have a quick breakfast, usually just coffee and toast. After that, I catch the bus to work at around 8 a.m. At work, I spend most of my day helping colleagues with computer issues. My main tasks include fixing technical problems and updating software. The busiest part of my day is usually the morning when everyone is logging in. After work, I usually go to the gym for about an hour. Then I head home and cook dinner. Finally, I relax by watching TV or reading before going to bed around 11 p.m.
That was fantastic, John. You used all the key phrases we learned today, and your story flowed very naturally with those transition words. You sound much more confident now.
Thanks. This has been really helpful. I feel like I can have these everyday conversations much more easily now.
Before we wrap up, remember that today we learned how to talk about morning routines with phrases like, I usually wake up at, and the first thing I do is. We practiced describing work or school activities with phrases like, I spend most of my day, and my main tasks include. And we discussed hobbies and free time using phrases like, after work, I usually, and my favorite way to relax is.
And don't forget our bonus tip about using transition words to connect our ideas.
That's right. Now it's your turn to practice. Try having a conversation with a friend, family member, or colleague about your day using the phrases we learned today. You can even record yourself speaking to hear how you sound.
And what should listeners do if they want more practice?
Great question. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to Speak Right English for more practical English lessons. Leave a comment below with a sentence about your daily routine using one of the phrases we learned today. We'd love to hear from you and help with any questions you might have.
Thank you, Cathy, for teaching us these useful phrases. I'm looking forward to our next lesson.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember, learning English is a journey, and you're doing great just by listening and practicing. See you in our next episode where we'll learn how to make plans with friends in English.
Goodbye, everyone. Keep practicing.
Bye for now.